good evening. Welcome to our show. This is What is New, and we have several guests this evening on different topics, so we will let Iris introduce them to you one at a time. So
Okay.
Iris, you can take over.
Okay, good evening, everyone. On my right over here is Robert Mueller. He is going to talk about the School of the Soldier, and Jean Grifford, and Chris, and Nancy, and Charlie. I don't know. Brain dead. Today's dead brain day. Anyway, those are our guests for this evening. Jean and her bunch are going to talk about Parkinson's, and Bob is going to talk about School of the Soldier. So, Bob, if you want to get started and give us some information about your topic.
Well, thanks for having me on again.
Well, glad you came.
It's a pleasure to be here. The École de Soldats, or School of the Soldier, is put on by the Holy Family Milice out of Cahokia, Illinois. And they portray life in what was the mid-Mississippi Valley around the time of the French and Indian War, 1757 to 1763. And at that point in time, there were a number of small villages around here, Cahokia, Prairie du Rocher, Kaskaskia, and St. Genevieve, and they all had a milice or militia. And those were, if you were an able-bodied man between, say, 17 and 55, you had to be a part of the militia. And they would have a captain, and there were three important people in the colonial towns: the priest, the captain of the militia, and the commandant, who dispensed the law. So the School of the Soldier, it's been going on for 25 years. They've been here in St. Genevieve for the last 4 years. They used to go over to Fort Deschartres, but when the state of Illinois had their money problems and shut down a lot of the operations at Deschartres, they started coming here, and they just love coming to St. Genevieve. And
They camp out?
they camp out. You're going to see period costumes, period accoutrements, cooking, all of that sort of thing. There's going to be cannons. There'll be rifle fire. We'll have games for kids. There's an auction of goods. Just a variety of things. And one of the most important things of the School of the Soldier is that they have presentations. It is really a school. And this year, the emphasis is on the Native American French interaction. And so we have 4 speakers. The first one's going to talk about French entrepreneurship and how the French dealt with the Native Americans from the time period of 1718 to about 1750, when there was a major massacre by the Chickasaws of the French south of here. Another individual is going to talk about the Osage Indians. When the Europeans first came here, on the other side of the river were the Kaskaskia Indians, the Tamaroas, the Michigamiyas, and on this side of the river were the Little Osage and the Big Osage. Now, there was only one incidence where colonial people were killed by Native Americans, and those, I think, was a Chickasaw tribe that did that. But the Osage loved to steal our horses and cows and stuff. And they were just a little bit west of here, and then north of that was the Missouri Indians. The other gentleman's going to talk about the Missouri Indians. That's where the Missouri, the name of our state and our river came from that Indian tribe.
Oh, really?
And he'll be talking about their nation. At the same time, or right after that, we started, some of those Native Americans were moved further west into Oklahoma, and we got the Shawnee, the Delaware, and the Peoria Indians here that had come from the Ohio and Illinois country over to our side of the river. And we'll have Native Americans there in dress, and having seen them at Fort Deschartres before, they really do a nice job of showing their costumes, their hair, their tattoos. It's really pretty awesome.
Now, did they move here because of food or?
They were kind of forced out by,
conditions?
they were forced, the Native Americans kept being forced further west all the time as the demand for land kind of took over, and especially after 1804 with the Louisiana Purchase, and we started getting more Americans into this side of the river.
So when is this going to take place?
Well, it's going to take place this Saturday and Sunday. It starts about 8:30 in the morning each day with opening colors. About 9:15 is when the lectures start. Those will be at the Welcome Center. The encampment will be down what we call the Jerdefet grounds, the Moses Austin cabin area,
Down by the creek.
down by the South Gabry. Yeah. You're from St. Genevieve.
Down by the creek.
Down by the creek.
We'll have some people at the camp to explain to whoever shows up and the kids of some of the games and the food and that sort of thing. We'll have some demonstrations of spinning and knitting and different things that might have went on during that time period. On Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we have an auction, and that's how they raise money for the next year's encampment. They don't charge people to camp at that, and it's free. It's free to the public to come to the lectures or to the encampment.
And what kind of items do they
It's,
have?
a lot of it's colonial kind of stuff for reenactors, but we have, it's also very funny. Our auctioneers are real cards. And
Do they auction off, like, if they're showing a cooking at that time, do they auction off any of their wares that they produce?
well, they might have wares that they, not the food, but what they
Okay.
cooked in. Last year I bought an old colonial game, a powder horn. They sell fabric. I mean, there was just a whole variety of things.
That's good.
Now, what type of fabric do they have, like?
Well, back then, what's really
Yeah,
interesting, we know what they had because of all the estate inventories when people died, and a lot of linen. There's probably 15 different names of materials
Oh,
that they
really?
had during
And
that time.
did they wear the shiny material too, like the brocades and things?
The fancy people did. You have to remember, we're kind of on the frontier.
Right.
And maybe on Sunday,
More common.
we might put those fancy clothes on. Yeah. It's a great opportunity for kids, especially like fourth graders that are studying Missouri history, to
Oh, yeah.
find out about what this area was like before we became Missouri. We always here in St. Genevieve try to teach about what we call the other colonial America. You know, in school, all we hear about is those 13 colonies.
Right.
Well, at the same time, all of this is going on in the Midwest, and it was a very important time period, and we like to, Missouri history didn't begin in 1804 with the Louisiana Purchase. It occurred almost 100 years earlier
Right.
than that. So it's a great time to find out about it.
Good.
Yeah, my mother's great-grandmother and grandfather was from France, and he married an Indian.
Many of
Back
the
in our family.
Many of the French did. They interacted differently than the British did. Many of the Frenchmen married Native American wives, as they did African American wives. There's a
Now,
very,
that was down in Perry County.
very famous lady in Kaskaskia, Marie Ruensu, was a daughter of a Kaskaskia Indian chief, and she married a French fur trapper. He was kind of a roundabout, but she ended up being one of the only women ever buried in the Church of Kaskaskia, inside the
wow.
church. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
And we have one woman buried in the Church of St. Genevieve also, the wife of the last commandant before the Louisiana Purchase, Francois Valley Jr.'s wife.
Right.
So what
But,
other-
and then on Sunday, it starts again, I think, at 8:30 in the morning with opening colors, and it will end about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now, you
and-
say colors, what is that?
Well, that's
Like-
raising the flag,
Oh, okay.
okay, and it's probably in 1757, it'd be a white flag with 3 fleur-de-lis on it.
Oh, yes.
And then at the end, they take the flag down and fire a salute.
I think- So the same activities will be both days?
Right, they continue on Sunday to have, they're kind of a continuation of the lectures that were occurring on Saturday. There's one additional one. There's one of the members of the Holy Family Milice, Tom Connors, is going to talk about, it's called the Tunica Treasures, and it was an excavation, archaeological excavation, and they could tell what things were like during that time period based on the excavation.
And where was that at?
I'm not, I guess Tunica was down at Tunica.
Oh, yeah, oh, Tunica,
Yeah.
okay.
Now
Now,
now the treasures you get are at the boat. Maybe.
I think it's really amazing how they had to travel so far, like from Cahokia to St. Louis to St. Genevieve, St. Charles.
Right. And most of that was done on the river,
Right.
because there were no roads between, there were a few trails like to Mine Lamont, there was one down to Natchitoches, Louisiana, to Old Mines. Actually,
Yeah, Old Mines has a lot of French history also.
in 1780, the St. Genevieve Milice was called to St. Louis for what was known as the Battle of Fort San Carlos. which is being commemorated the next couple of years. It was the westernmost
Really?
battle of the American Revolution,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
and our troops were sent up there. We have a couple of inventories of our Milice, and we do have a small Milice group here in St. Genevieve. It's been around for a number of years. And
Are those descendants or just people that want to join?
just people that want to
Interest?
do it, like a German like me
Yeah.
is joining.
Hey, that's okay.
But we have several inventories or list of the, who served in the militia in, say, in 1779. And you can pick a character and research them and portray them if you'd like.
I'll have to.
Well, that's
yeah.
neat. That's really neat. It sounds like a fun weekend.
It is. It is a lot of fun, and it's our history, it's our culture,
Right.
and it's a good chance to learn while you're
And
having some
Do
fun.
you have very good attendance from the people at St. Gen? Or
Well,
is it
the last
something
couple
we
of years,
should-
they had it earlier in April, the last couple of years, and we're always kind of at the vagaries of the weather. And last year, I think they had a lot of wind and rain on Friday night, and that kind of dampened the spirits.
I think it's supposed to rain this weekend.
Well,
But Sunday's supposed to be nice.
as I told the guy that heads this up, I said it wouldn't be a School of the Soldier without.
If it didn't rain.
If you didn't have rain, you wouldn't be in your element then. It's
So
great.
come on out and enjoy and talk to the people and see what it was like a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, like we always say, there's so much in St. Genevieve to do that nobody can ever possibly be bored. They,
Nope.
everybody has such good talks, the ones that do the histories and the things. Great town and a great history.
So thanks for having me on then.
Well, glad you
thank you.
came. We always enjoy your
I love to
vision,
hear all your
yeah.
history. I do, I really do. You're just so knowledgeable in all this. I'd really love to hear it.
Anytime.
And now we'll go to Jean and her crew.
Jean and my crew?
Yeah, just be relaxed and whatever.
Well,
We're having fun.
we're having fun. Okay, we'll have fun. April, we asked, first of all, thanks for having us on.
That's quite all right. We're glad to have you.
And April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, and that's kind of why we wanted to come on and talk about Parkinson's disease. These members of the group here were nice enough to come and join me for this. This is Chris Palmer. She's a St. John native that was in Florida, and she came back and is living here now. Nancy Roderman. Hi. Yeah. And Charlie. There's everybody knows Charlie. Yeah. Poor Charlie. The guys are kind of a minority in our group. The women, there's more women in the group than guys. So.
Is it because of more women who get Parkinson's than men, or?
Actually,
It's not.
men predominantly get Parkinson's,
Oh, really?
but I think women are. They won't come forward. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Women are more likely to
To
join a support
participate.
group
Oh,
and
okay.
get some help. But the guys, sometimes the guys will show up. But so I'm going to kind of turn it over to these ladies and let them talk a little bit about their experience. And we just kind of want people to know that the support group exists here in St. Genevieve. We're affiliated with the American Parkinson's Disease Association in St. Louis. We have a close connection with them. And, we want people to know that we're here because everybody's hesitant to join a support group. You hear support group and it's like, oh, man. But I'll let these guys share some of their thoughts about the support group and what they've gotten out of it. So,
Can I make a suggestion? Speak up just a little bit.
sure, okay.
Elevate just a little bit.
Right.
So we make sure everybody hears
Now,
you.
if she's saying that about me, you guys are really going to have to yell.
Blast it out. Either of you can go.
Well,
It doesn't matter. You can chime in with each other too if you want.
I've had Parkinson's since I was 37. And, yeah, I had young onset. And my children were 1 and 4. And it's a very unique disease, unique to each individual. There's a myriad of symptoms and side effects, and we all just kind of throw them in a paper bag, shake it up, and see what you get. For the untrained person that doesn't know, they might look at the three of us and not even know that we had the same illness because we're so different.
Right, well, this one here, tremors, has tremors. I have what they call dyskinesia, which is a movement, you sway and move, movement. I don't have any tremor. And then Charlie, I'm not sure, but he has tremors too. I've had Parkinson's for 7 years. Chris and I were fortunate to be able to take the deep brain stimulation operation, which is a surgery that implants wires in your head to connect to the batteries. We each have 2 batteries on our chest.
They both had brain surgery,
And,
the difference in you guys is just
last
remarkable.
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
We could, neither one of us, if we didn't have the surgery, could not be sitting calmly like this at all. We all take the same medicine, but we all take different doses. It's just, it's really an individual symptoms for everybody, because no 2 people are the same with the Parkinson's.
Basically, everybody gets it a little different from the other person.
Right.
I mean, what one person has
We had,
symptoms of, the other one doesn't have, they have the other ones.
right.
Right.
Well, and there was a neurologist said once that if you've seen one person with Parkinson's, you've seen one person with Parkinson's, because they're all
There's no
different.
two.
No, it's
Right.
just, it's amazing.
There's 1.2 million people in the United States have Parkinson's. In the world.
Really?
60,000 people are diagnosed annually with Parkinson's.
Oh my gosh.
So,
But I think they stay home. It's so difficult to get out whenever you're on. We have what is called on and off periods, where the medication works and we appear relatively normal. We get out and do our shopping and socializing during those periods, but when we're off, we have a tendency to hide at home. So nobody.
and our thing is, don't hide at home, come on out like the rest of us.
Yeah, come and join us.
Well, sure.
You know,
We have a
Yeah.
lot of living to do.
that's right.
That's right. You do. I know my grandmother had gotten it, because she was in her early 80s and she just started it. And we noticed when she would take a cup and she had it on the saucer, it would just absolutely, she couldn't control it. It just jiggled. And she, I guess she had it maybe about a year, so it wasn't really, it was just starting, and then she had a stroke. So she didn't live to progress any further, but I know it was difficult trying to understand it. You know, because you never saw it before.
Well,
you never had it in your family before,
right.
so it was kind of hard to, well, what's going on?
And
Well, and-
Parkinson's is probably like every other disease. Years ago, they kept it all hidden.
Right,
Where
right.
now it's
Well, and a
out
lot
in
of-
the open and people understand
And
better.
years ago, people didn't live that long.
No.
You know, they didn't live long enough to get the Parkinson's. And as a nurse, I always thought I knew stuff about Parkinson's. And then my dad was diagnosed when he was 55, and I realized how much I did not know. So that's when we started this group in 2000, and because support groups are just so important because these guys, the people in this group are the experts on Parkinson's in St. Genevieve County, because they live with it 24/7. You can have your they always laugh at me when I say that, but it's true. You have your neurologist, and they're really great and everything, but these are the people that teach each other, and the things that they've learned at the meetings, and you guys talk. I said you were going to talk.
Yeah, if you want to tell us some of your experiences, how you feel,
Well,
what your outlook
You want
is.
to tell some horror stories?
we were watching a video of this one before we came to the meeting tonight, and if you would be able to see this video, you would not believe that it's the same person.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
It was made in December of 10?
About a year and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
before I
had-
had the stimulator.
Oh, okay.
She had so much tremor, she couldn't put a pan on the stove, you know, she couldn't cook for herself, she couldn't do anything, but shake.
Isn't that wonderful, the things they can
Now,
do?
both of you had the brain surgery?
She
Did
had
you
it-
have that?
No.
too?
Yeah.
No,
No.
we had them 6 months apart. But,
Is that a recommended?
oh yeah,
Well-
if they can do it, they,
Yeah,
Wasn't there an article about it in, it was either
in the
in
Herald.
the Herald,
is that
It
what was
was
that?
about-
I know I read
it was-
something about the
It
operation.
was about me.
Yeah.
That was about you?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I remember I read about the surgery somewhere and I couldn't remember. what it
Well,
was about.
the other problem with Parkinson's, it affects everything in your body. It's not just isolated to your muscles and stuff.
It's the whole body.
Yeah. It takes over control of everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And it starts muscular and
Yes.
spreads from there.
Mhm.
Like me, I lost my sense of smell. I can't smell anything.
Oh, really? Isn't that something?
I'll be darned.
They found that's one of the first indicators. They're looking back now, and that's one of the first indicators of Parkinson's.
You know, I couldn't, well, I couldn't notice my smell disappearing, years back, didn't pay any attention to it.
So it was kind of a gradual,
Yeah, right.
gradual thing that happened?
And it's then all of a sudden, my pants started shaking a little bit.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
then when I said, well, I gotta go do something.
Well, you do wonderful wood work.
Oh,
Well, when I'm there, I don't shake.
Oh, really? When you're doing
When
the
I'm concentrating on
woodworking?
something like that, with my hands, I'm fine. Don't bother me.
Yeah,
Oh, my
if
goodness,
we
isn't that
can
something? Sort of like,
direct our focus on something.
Yeah, I
Okay.
call it my therapy.
well, they are.
So
what's-
that's your therapy, your woodworking.
and it's
Yeah.
amazing because you started that after you were diagnosed with Parkinson's,
Yeah.
right? That you really, and the intricate, I wanted you to bring some of that so we
They
could
are,
share
they're so
that.
intricate.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
a
wouldn't
challenge
imagine
for,
that when you're shaking that you could.
right. It would be a challenge for somebody without Parkinson's. So
it would
with
for me.
Parkinson's, it's even more amazing.
And if you noticed, all of us kind of speak kind of slowly.
Right.
That's Parkinson's. It affects your speech, it affects your bladder, it affects your vision. I'm very surprised at all the things that it does.
Your muscles, your joints.
When you wake up in the morning, you're so stiff you can't unfold yourself to get out of bed.
Oh, my
You know,
goodness.
you have to have
And
something
then-
help you stand up, to go to bed.
Right. And then when you do start moving, you can't quit. So it's like you're either frozen or you're dancing with an elephant.
Very true. You gotta wear him out before you can go to bed.
That is a book about,
This
and
is a
that's the
book
one you
about
wrote? Yeah.
my experiences.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
And where are your books available?
They're available on Amazon.com.
On Amazon.com.
Or directly from you, right?
Right,
Or you can call Chris. Yeah.
right.
It's a very interesting read. It talks about Chris's life with Parkinson's, but it can kind of transfer to other challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's about my experiences overcoming difficulties, but it can be applied to anything.
So you really have to set your mind to do things then? I mean, to make your body work for you? Is that basically what?
You
Yeah.
have to be positive. You have to think positive and be positive all the time.
One of my cousins in Alton had it, and at that time, it's been several years ago, they had a medication where you could only take it every 8 hours, and he was fine when he was on the medication, then when he went off of it, he was really bad.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about, the on and off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so
when
they
it's
still
working.
use that
Yeah,
medication then?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can take it more often, don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, but at
every
that time, it was
3.
8 hours on
Yeah.
and 8 hours off. Yeah.
It's every 3.
Yeah, I
Every
take it
3 hours?
Every 3 hours, yeah.
So you can imagine our days are
Up and
like a
down.
roller
Oh, my
coaster.
God.
It's like a roller coaster all the time, then.
Yeah, he was really jolly with his. I mean, you know, he didn't feel sorry for his suffering. He
Well-
would say, just look at me slobbering, and he'd, you know, wipe his mouth. And,
You know, if you
"Yeah, I
don't
can't
keep,
even eat. and
if
he'd
you
miss
don't
his
keep your
mouth,
sense
you
of
know.
humor, you
It's-
know, and this is
it's
where the
right.
support group comes in. It's so important.
How often do you meet? your
How
support?
often do we meet?
Once a month.
Second Wednesday of the month, at 10 o'clock in the St. John Conference Hospital Education Room. What kind of things, you want to share? I mean, what has the support group done for you?
It's helped me so much in knowing that I have a lot of friends out there that totally understand me. And I didn't understand myself for a long time. So
Do you
it's like an immediate bond.
Yeah, do you remember the time when you couldn't find your keys? She couldn't find her keys one day, and we had been together. And so she called me and said, I can't find my keys, I have to get out of here. And so I said, well, it'll take me 25 minutes to get to you. I said, call Cindy and see if she can come over and find your keys for you. So Cindy Drury comes right over and she says, now where are they supposed to be? She says, in the car. And she walks over, looks down, she goes, here they are. I mean, we have forgetful times where we forget what we're doing, you know.
And I knew they were in the car. I hadn't left the car. I pulled into a parking lot, I turned the ignition off, and I lost my keys.
It's just small things like that. She said, and then she says to me, I called you because I knew you would understand. And I go, oh yeah. So, I think another thing that we found that it's really important is you have to exercise. So I swim 3 days a week. I walk every day almost, weather permitting. And I also play golf. So those
Wonderful.
are the three things. And when I'm on the golf course, I don't do anything but play. I don't wiggle a lot. I don't do any of that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's
But
like
let's-
focus on.
Let's
Yeah.
not underestimate the power of a card game.
Oh, yeah.
That's exercise too. You know, you're using your fine motor skills and you're using your brain.
We play cards every Thursday with Dodo Kettinger. She,
Ketting.
Ketting?
Dodo Ketting.
Yeah.
I think she plays more than that.
She's 84,
Yeah.
and she knows how to play her cards.
She does.
She was supposed to join us tonight, but she's playing cards.
And they can't give up their cards.
No.
Those card
No.
games, they can't
That's
give up their
wonderful.
cards. Yeah,
That's
it
wonderful.
is. It's
She
a
showed,
good
she showed
pastime.
Ruthie one time, I look at my arms, I got two swords right here.
Two from being in the table. So what about a male perspective of the support group?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that.
Well, I don't know, it's just, maybe it's a commandeering thing, you know. You're not by yourself, you know, and it's something, you got it, but you can't do anything about it. It's not, nothing you've done that's caused it.
That's right.
It just comes on, you know. And it just helps to hear somebody else talk about it, you know. And we get different ideas from different people, what they do, and, you know, how to, everyday living, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
How to cope with everything.
Yeah.
That,
So are you like the girls, you call them when you need help?
you call the ladies?
Oh my gosh, I forgot, or do
No,
you depend on
my
her?
my wife takes care of that.
He calls Ruthie.
He calls
says, I
Ruthie.
lost my keys.
Well, you're out exercising every morning. I see you
Just
walking
about,
around
yeah.
town.
If it's 40 degrees, I'm out there. It's colder than that, I usually ain't.
Use it or lose it.
You just try to start around 6 o'clock in the morning. I walk for about an hour.
Do you?
Wow,
That's what I need to do.
that's amazing.
That is.
I started walking out the cemetery the other day.
If
see
I
a
don't,
lot of
I
people walking
start
out.
shuffling, you know, when I walk, I gotta get in my mind, and take big steps, otherwise I make real small steps, you know.
Oh, okay, you go like this and
Yeah,
let you
right.
think
Mhm.
about it.
And that's the other thing about Parkinson's, because a lot of the automatic things that we think, even like swallowing or
Yeah.
like
Breathing.
What you
breathing.
take for granted.
Right,
Yeah.
a lot of times they have to focus, or even speech, because the speech gets softer. And I know I had Dad at a speech therapist one time, and he told him to act like he was yelling all the time to project their voice. Now, if you can imagine how much effort that takes to be yelling all the time, so it's pretty-
It's a disease that takes everything about you and takes it from big to small. Like your stride, your handwriting, your movements.
So,
I-
but you have a mission. Chris has a mission.
To change the face of Parkinson's disease on the planet.
That is very good.
Yes, so she's written this book. She's getting ready to write another book, or you're in the process of writing
I'm in
another
the
book?
process.
Okay.
And that's wonderful, because other people can pick that book up and say, oh, I'm not alone. Other people are experiencing this too.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
and
have.
Chris has said this several times, that, they may have a physical disease, but, she's writing books. They're still very active members of society. They have things to contribute. And I guess that's part of the message that we want to get across too. It's like,
Absolutely.
don't ignore me.
Well, I think everybody has, regardless of what their affliction is, I think everybody has something to contribute. Because
Absolutely.
You take the mentally retarded, they have something. Everybody considers them dumb, and I've
Mhm.
worked with them a lot. And they consider them very dumb,
Mhm.
uneducated, stupid people, but they're not.
Mhm.
They have an intelligence and a love beyond all bounds.
And they have lessons to teach us, everybody.
Unconditional love.
It is unconditional love, and that's all they ask for from you, is the same that they give. So there's a lot of people need to be aware of what you have, and a lot of different things. I mean, people need to be made aware of it,
Mhm.
because you take your health for granted. You do,
Yeah.
I think everybody does,
Mhm.
which is sad, because too much could happen.
In the blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Hey, blink an eye, you can fall like I do all the time.
Yeah, Mary Ann's the biggest faller that ever was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, oh, Mary Ann, you didn't fall again. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah. The ER doctor's getting used to me.
Oh.
We
He
need
just says
to,
it.
Mary Ann likes the ground better than she likes standing up.
we need to exchange phone numbers.
He just
Yeah.
takes one
Come
look and
help
goes,
me, I'm falling.
I'm here again. It's 3 times in the last, February I fell, that was 3 times in the last 6 months.
Whoa.
Well, I've
You
From
must
September
bounce
to
pretty
February.
good.
I got some good bones, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. He said they must be made out of steel.
And they're dumb things that she does.
Yeah,
I mean, really dumb.
Well, if
you're right. They're dumb. I do dumb
if you-
things.
If you join us, even though you don't have Parkinson's, you'll feel right at home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's,
I sense the balance is pretty bad sometimes.
Well, I could come with my brain. Sometimes.
well, and that's
I
the
don't
other
remember
thing that we've had a couple of members join the group that do not have Parkinson's, but they have other neurological diseases that cause a lot of the same issues.
Oh, really?
So, it's open, we're open, because, our purpose is to just try to help people, to try to give people a place to go that, other people are facing the same issues, they don't have to feel self-conscious, they don't have to, just, they can be a part of it, so.
Don't have to be on the guard all the time.
Right, and, we have parties, and we have picnics, and we have speakers, and we have, what else do we do?
Just little groups where we get together, we tell everybody how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And maybe have some new ideas on how to get up or roll over or stand up or.
Well, I could use ideas on that.
That's what she said, come and join us.
With all my falls, I could use ideas on how to get up and down.
These guys are the experts.
I need to come. because I can't stay on my feet.
Just wanted to share this too. This, you know, this is the logo for
Oh, how pretty.
Parkinson's disease. This a gal that has Parkinson's has created this, and they're trying to make this the universal symbol for Parkinson's. So just wanted to share that and let people see.
You can hold it up and Don can, let's see, hold it to us and he can probably
Hold it to
zoom
you?
in on it.
Yeah.
Don, you want to go in on that?
Are you zooming in on
So
that?
you can see the cover of the book? He might fall asleep.
Yeah. Still
Yeah,
sleeping.
this is-
Oh, well.
Wake up, Don.
Anyway,
So,
Now, where can you get this book?
this is just a book. This is,
Oh, this is okay.
yeah, this is just for planning activities for Parkinson's.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
There is the APDA in St. Louis has a lot of literature. Anybody that wants to, you know, if anybody has Parkinson's, you know, just, I don't
And
want them
just
to be
have
out there by
questions.
themselves. Do what?
If they don't want to join, maybe they need a question.
yeah, if
Somebody
anybody
to
out there
help.
tonight has questions, you can call 883-7675 and ask the ones who really know everything about it. Or
Yeah.
not everything, but all they've experienced.
St. Genevieve's experts on Parkinson's disease.
And
They
we
have-
are here, please call. We are
There's
here.
two new researches going on with Parkinson's. One is with the stem cell, and the other one is with gene therapy.
Wouldn't the
Oh.
stem cell be wonderful?
Well, they have successfully,
Implanted and grown stem cells in
Right.
laboratory animals.
so now the next step is
To do it
doing
on
it with
humans.
the human.
Well, and there's another new development too. Until recently, they thought that a person wouldn't develop the symptoms of Parkinson's until 80% of this certain cell in the back of their brain, the substantia
Dopamine.
nigra, was damaged. They've come to realize that as little as 20% can start showing symptoms. If 20% of those cells are damaged, people will start having Parkinson's symptoms. So now they're really,
Put
you
some
don't-
glue around my neck.
Mary Ann's hiding her neck now.
Yep, that'd be the next thing.
So then, to them, that's really exciting, because if they can just, you know,
Well, yeah.
make 20% better,
Right.
then, you know, they can,
It's a goal, it's a start,
yes.
and it's a,
And Michael Fox is doing his part too, Michael J.
yes, I
Fox.
saw him on, what was it? He was on some kind of a program the other day, and I
Good
thought
Wife?
he was
The Good Wife?
exceptionally well doing, yeah, I guess that's what it
He's
was.
doing
Unless-
part-time.
And I thought he did exceptionally good for,
We went down, when he was down in Cape, he was down in Cape a few months ago, and we went down to listen to him speak, and he was talking about his thing on The Good Wife, and apparently he plays a real crotchety old lawyer that has Parkinson's. I've not seen the show. But he said that that person that he portrays is the person that he could be, because it would be so easy to be negative and to be expecting people to feel sorry for him, and you know, it's like his alter ego, but that
He's chosen not to live his life.
right,
To be have more positive attitude.
Right.
yeah.
And that probably helps in the long run too. Helps you cope
Mhm.
better, helps you feel better.
Mhm.
You know, like everything else, the more positive you are, the better off you are.
and
Sure.
get people to understand that is great. Get them to realize what's going
Only
on.
two, when you start something, well, to correct something, I'm not the only male member there.
No, okay.
Okay,
how many
how many males are in the
There was two other ones there, but well,
They're gone.
they're, well, they're in the.
So now there's
One
one other guy, right? Two other guys?
Yeah,
Oh, we have a caller.
Brown.
Welcome to What's New. Do you have a question?
Yeah, this is Pat, your favorite caller.
Well,
Oh, thank you,
glad
Pat.
you called.
I've got two questions, actually. One, the brain surgery that the ladies have had, how do they go? Is everyone a candidate for that has Parkinson's, or really, just some people? And the other question was, Michael J. Fox that you mentioned, has he had that surgery? Because it seems to me like he seems like he's doing better now than he was, 10 or 15 years ago. Does anybody know if he's had that surgery?
surgery.
Did you hear that, Pat?
Yeah.
I don't think
So then back to the other
It's not-
question, can anyone with Parkinson's get that, or is there certain qualifications? And
Yeah.
I'll hang up and just listen.
Okay.
Well, thanks for
There-
calling, Pat.
There is, Michael J. Fox has not had this same surgery that we have had. I've read that he will not have another invasive surgery until it's the cure.
Oh, okay.
And then the other question was what? What was her?
not everyone is a candidate.
No.
Yes,
No.
it's everyone.
The surgery
And an
targets
Asian, like me.
certain symptoms, and so it depends on, what is manifested in you. And also you have to be in, generally speaking, good health.
Because you guys had to go through a whole battery of, I mean, they did psychological testing and,
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're awake when they
You're
do
awake
the
when they do it?
surgery.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's two surgeries to this procedure.
Two-part
Parts.
surgery.
And the first part, you're awake for the first one. It's when they're trying to locate the area where the wires should be placed, where they're going to be the most advantageous.
And they actually put it inside of your brain,
Yeah,
the wire?
there's
Yeah.
two holes in my head right about here.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean,
And
it's
they-
healed, I don't have them anymore, but.
They drill those in while you're awake, and then they
Oh.
have you doing, touching your fingers and just,
Checking to make sure they've got it in the right location,
right.
so.
This is a silly question, but does it hurt, or is it just uncomfortable, or
It's uncomfortable, it
It doesn't hurt.
doesn't hurt,
it's just
The
uncomfortable
brain
feeling?
doesn't feel pain,
Oh, really?
no.
Oh, I didn't know that.
but they deaden the,
Mhm.
And
they
they give you,
deaden the skull.
and they gave us a special
Yeah.
haircut, didn't they?
But they gave you a free one.
A little buzz
And,
job?
Yeah.
One of my symptoms was severe hot flashes. I couldn't wait for the haircut. It felt good.
so, and the halo, or you want to talk a little bit about the immobilizer thing that they use to?
Or do they immobilize
I
you?
think if you have ever seen
yeah.
the Three Musketeers, is it, or with the man in the mask or something, that's what it felt like to me. I had two slits to see what the doctor wanted me to do, and then they put on that halo, and it just,
It
I felt
immobilizes
like
your
it was
head.
like
So
100 pounds
your head
weight.
is suspended in air. I mean, it's not resting back on
Oh, my
a
God.
pillow or anything.
I had a relative that had one of those, and it was, I don't know how to describe it, but it was all
Yeah.
around him, and then he had that thing on his, down his back.
And that's what they do, because they strap him to a table to immobilize everything, because, I mean, this is very,
So-
very delicate.
Yeah, so then you're screwed into the operating table.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
you can't move, and one of my biggest fears was that I would start trembling
Oh.
and shaking uncontrollably, and they would miss the mark, so to speak. But like Nancy said, we had a mask on, and one of the doctors reached in and grabbed that mask and pulled on it really tight, and he held my head still while they drilled the holes.
Oh, my goodness.
And you're awake through the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
If,
It was
So, I mean, this is,
I heard the doctor say, hand me a screwdriver,
drill,
and then, okay,
crescent
I'm ready
wrench.
for the drill.
The crescent wrench.
Yeah, and they're hammering and
I know they have.
everything.
Oh, my
in your
goodness.
head.
so, I mean, these two women, Nancy was talking about the difference in Chris since she's had this surgery. But there's been a big difference in that woman too. I told her, we need
Yeah.
before and after pictures, because it's just like not the same person. So both of these women have been through a remarkable procedure. They're poster children for the deep brain stimulator. And I just can't, it's just awesome. It's
That's
just
life altering.
amazing.
Great
Life
the things
altering.
they can do.
Yes, yes, so.
But it's not over after the surgery.
No.
That's just implanting the device. Then it takes about 6 months to a year where they program it. Because they can't give you a lot of voltage immediately because your body couldn't handle it. So they go up like 1/10 or 2/10 of a volt. And there you stay for about a month. And then you go back and they increase it. So,
So these are stimulators that you have.
Yes.
Right. And they're operated by the batteries that you have?
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
so
How often do you have to
every-
replace
every-
them?
Well, I
5
have,
Are they
years.
replaceable? I mean, do you
I-
have to replace them?
yes. I got a really new version. She got I'm one step up on the.
She
my
got
device.
the latest and greatest. I
Yeah.
got last year's model.
Yeah.
So what, the batteries last 3 years, 5 years?
They're, I don't know.
5
how
to
sure. They
8.
said
5 to 8.
5
Oh,
years.
really?
And then we'll have to go and have them removed and new ones put in.
And will
That's
that be another
amazing.
surgical procedure? They're
Yeah.
right under your skin, is that where they're
Yes,
at?
they're about right
Right.
here.
Just like pacemaker, just like
Right.
pacemaker.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're
it's
like
similar
heart
to
pacemakers.
So the electrodes are implanted up here, and then the wire is, I like to say it's quilted. It's woven underneath the scalp, between the scalp and the skull, and it comes down here behind your ear and down your neck
Oh, my
to the
goodness.
battery pack.
I can feel the wires in my neck.
Yeah,
You can feel the wires, can you?
yeah.
Well, that's what I need from my memory.
When the first month I had the wires in, one of them squeaked every time I turned my head. And
Mine-
thank goodness that
Yeah.
went away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like,
The squeaky door, huh?
It's because they left a little bit of extra wiring in there so
So-
that,
so it could
so
flex.
it would flex, you know?
Oh,
Because I had
That would
that
make
too- I had
sense.
th- I had that in my ears too. Every
Did
time I
you?
moved a certain way like this, it would go kee, you know, like, so.
yeah.
But did we explain what the operation's supposed to do? Or did we not tell them that?
No, I don't think you
Oh,
do.
I don't think we do.
The purpose of the surgery is to even the flow of your medication so that you don't have these periods when your medication's not working. So we call that an off period.
oh,
And then the on period would, of course, be when the medication is working. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. So that's what the surgery is. It's supposed to accomplish an even flow of medicine 24 hours a day.
Oh, that's neat.
And,
So-
and it
and
works.
it does work,
well, that's
Isn't that
wonderful.
amazing?
That is wonderful.
yeah.
That's wonderful. You ladies are just great. So are you, Charlie.
So,
You're
and
just
Charlie,
super-
you haven't
Hasn't said
been
much.
evaluated, yeah, haven't been evaluated for the deep brain stimulator, or no.
Yeah, well, my understanding is that age kind of cuts you back a little bit.
Well, I don't know.
I don't necessarily.
I don't think so.
There was a lady that was 84,
Oh,
and
yeah?
she wanted it, but her other health issues were not.
Well, that was
Yeah,
part
well
of the
enough.
problem.
And she asked the doctor, could she have had it if she was healthier? And he said yes.
So your health has a lot to do with if you.
Your
get it or
overall
not.
health, right,
Oh, yeah.
right. And you have to be at a certain level of debilitation
I was
before
just
they'll
gonna say
consider
you have
that.
to be at
Right.
that
Of
level.
course, I think this one, you said you thought about it for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, I did everything to avoid it.
And I read an article about it, said, can I do it tomorrow?
And she had to wait because they won't take you until you've been diagnosed for 5 years. So here Nancy is counting down the months till her 5-year diagnosis, and I waited until I had the disease 17 years.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
So, everybody's different.
yeah.
And they do mental testing because you have to be strong mentally to go in there and go through that and
Well, and
be
you have to
away.
be committed too for the follow-up, because it's a
It takes like a
2
year,
year
2 years to go.
process.
To process it all.
Is that
Yeah.
something you might get Charlie later, or you?
I
Is
don't
that-
think so. I don't know.
Well, this is what, because my dad was a candidate, and he said, ain't nobody going in my brain. So that's
Yeah,
also.
I've never really given much thought about them, really. I mean, to me, I get bumped along just fine the way I am.
Right,
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 You know,
right.
If I would get worse, maybe I would think about it.
right.
I think so, if you were really,
Don't rush it.
You're just,
yeah,
Yeah, till you get to that point, I could understand that.
oh, yeah.
hopefully something better will come along.
They're doing so much every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing what they do.
So Michael Fox did not have the operation?
No,
Did he have anything done, or it's just?
he did, but I can't remember how you
I
say it.
think was it
Phallodotomy?
pallidotomy or
That was it,
thallodotomy?
yeah.
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 And what is that?
They used to go in and destroy the cells in a certain area of the brain.
Oh.
Whereas, now they just kind of can turn them off or stimulate them or whatever, but they used to just go in and actually destroy parts of it.
Oh.
And
They
that's what he had done.
Cauterize that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know my dad went to a neurologist one time, and he said Michael Fox had the wrong surgery.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Because
really?
that's not reversible. Ours is.
Yeah.
We can take this out.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We can have
cauterization
it
is not a
removed.
reversible
No,
thing.
no, that was
Or
permanent.
simply turn it off.
But that was probably the best thing. Dad
Right,
when
back
he-
then. That's why, when you said that he said he's going to wait for a cure.
Yeah.
Because this is, basically what they've done is control your symptoms, right? I mean, there is no cure right now. They're working on a cure.
But you've got it under control with this
Yeah.
thing in your brain,
Right.
what I want to
Yeah.
say. But, yeah, you've got it under control this way.
And the theory
Which is
is,
wonderful.
the theory is that once they do this, you can cut back on your medications, which you, Nancy, that's been
Yeah,
this case for you, right?
yes.
However,
I'm the opposite. There again, it's unique for each individual. Where I was taking 9 tablets of Cinemet before, now I take 21.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
But I was so severely under-medicated because the medication causes side effects.
Right.
I couldn't tolerate anymore.
That's the problem with a lot of medication, it's your side effects. That sometimes they say the cure is worse than the
Mhm.
actual thing.
mhm,
True.
so,
That is amazing.
Very interesting.
what else?
Yes.
I don't know, other than we'd really like to have the people come and join us.
Yeah, if anybody's out there that has other problems and wants to go to the group for support,
We're always
Yeah.
looking for new members, because every person that is in the group brings a different dimension to the.
and
to-
even family members.
Oh,
help People
absolutely.
if the person doesn't want to come, the family members.
It's really
they would
interesting.
come to,
We have people come from Perryville. We have people come from Fredericktown. We have people come from
Volunteer.
Bonterre, Park Hills. It's really it's funny because there's a whole lot of people coming from other places. I don't know if it's just they don't want to be known in their own community or what. There's a support group in St. Louis, and there's one in Cape, but they're very inactive. And they've recently, I guess within the last 2 years, started one in Festus.
oh, really?
But you can't find Parkinson support groups so we have people coming from all around,
Right.
and
It
they
seems
just
to me
keep
like-
coming back.
Yeah, it seems to me like that's the thing that you would want to have, because just looking at you all, you support each other. So I can't imagine why anybody would not want to have that support.
I think the first step is the hardest.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Getting to come into there, because
I was asked for 2 years to come and join the group, and I never knew who was in the group, but I also thought,
That's nothing. I avoided it for 17 years.
Until she came to St.
So you hold the
Genevieve.
record.
That's
Oh,
the
they
part-
had it in Florida and you didn't go.
Well, that's part of denial. I was young onset, and I just didn't want to go in there and be with those old people, which was so wrong. You know, they had
That was my
so
feeling,
much
too.
to offer.
And you
That's
probably
why
would have
I-
been a joy to them.
Yeah.
I thought I thought all those people would be too old, and I didn't want to see that. So, and then I got a handwritten one day from somebody, and
Somebody.
and I just
Somebody you need
and
to
I
be
just
here.
said, oh, what the heck? I guess I better go down and see what one meeting is like.
And life's never been the same since.
Now we love you, and
Yep.
you're
Yeah.
part of it.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
So-
It is just
And you
wonderful.
probably have a lot of really good friends within the group.
Well, we
because
met
of it.
Jody Ketting, my card playing buddy. That's where I met her.
Well, this has really been a very informative on both.
Yeah.
Both of you has really been very good, really.
Well, it's been
And I'm so
fun.
glad that you have this support group, that we have something like this.
Mhm.
I think people need to
Take
go and
advantage of it.
check it out.
It's
and-
free.
That's right.
We have
Check it
food.
out, you know.
Yeah, you eat all.
I know, yeah.
So thanks to everyone for coming tonight.
Okay,
and
thank you, guys.
Tell your friends about our show, and if you know anyone that wants to come on and present their program, we'd be happy to have them.
And if you want to
We're
come
always
back
looking for
anytime,
more.
come back. I'm always glad to see
Yeah,
you.
you can come back and chit chat.
It was very interesting. I'd like
It
to go
was.
this weekend and see some of
Yeah.
that.
So we
That'd
thank
be
you.
fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's really been good. We need you to come back.
And you can watch this on, come on, ours. YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, Don usually puts them on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Or if you want a
Oh, you can get a
of it, you can
DVD
get
for a
DVD.
$10 donation.
Yeah.
I think is it on Friday mornings too? Or
Pardon?
what? It's in the morning
It's
sometime
on
at
two
7.
times, yeah,
Yeah.
during the week. I
1
think they'll
a.m.
Put it up here. Is it-
7.
we don't get it out by the.
No, I was looking
No,
at-
but you can get on the internet. Go to
Get it on your
stgenTV.com.
computer.
Oh, okay.
If your computer loads fast enough and you do videos. Just go stgenTV.com
Okay.
and then click on